I'm a data engineer. I have around near to 10 plus of years experience, and I'm in teaching field since last 5 years. I train on Azure DevOps. I train on Azure Data Engineering role. I train on Power BI. So these are my skill sets. In the data engineer side, I train on Synapse Data Factory, Databricks, okay, and Event Hubs, real-time data processing, and even I train for Microsoft Fabric. So this is my skill set. So as this demo is about Azure Data Engineer, and the tools which we include in this training is Synapse, Data Factory, Databricks. We also have Data Lake Gen 2 part of this. So these are the major things which you are including. Along with Databricks here, we'll be learning something called PySpark in the Databricks side. Okay, and we'll have a 2 to 3 days session on SQL side as well. So all this combination we are going to teach as part of this program. This program will consist of 45 days. You need 45 days of your time. It will span around 2 months, the entire program. You will be having 2 projects during the course, one for the entire Synapse Data Factory and one for Databricks separately. So you'll be having 2 live projects. This is part of the course curriculum, and the training which we are providing is not something you get on Udemy or some other place. Like, we don't prefer these kind of things to go with real time. I'm a real time professional, so I'll give you whatever I use in real time, day to day life, how the project's gonna look like. So that is what the way of teaching goes on. So at some point of time, you'll be habituated how the real time works. Okay, if you go for an interview after half of the course, you will be able to understand their questions. You will be able to answer their questions. You will be able to say some real time scenarios as per your learning from the training. So this is going to be um, completely whatever you use in real time as a data engineer. That is what we are going to teach. But step by step, you'll be able to achieve that place. And after the training, you can claim at least some 3 to 5 years of experience with the help of this training. Okay. And coming to the demo part for today, let us discuss about Azure. So what is Azure? What all these things? Let us discuss now. So our training will be completely on Azure. So we call it as Azure Data Engineering role. So uh, what is Azure? Any of the participants, if it is known, what is Azure, guys? Have you heard
One of
about
the
Azure
cloud
and what
vendors.
one of the cloud vendors? Very good. We have, it's a cloud provider. That's very good. You have similar to Azure, you have AWS, you have GCP, which are famous. We have other cloud vendors as well, but these were as famous as Azure. The number of jobs on Azure are going to increase, are increasing in real time compared to AWS and GCP. This is on the top position where the number of job positions are opening, but the customer base for AWS is still on top. This is going to be achieved by Azure in next 1 or 2 years, but this is very rapidly growing for the new projects. And one of the benefit it is people have already used Microsoft tools like on-premise tools like MSBI, and they were going with SQL Server. So these people have an advantage of shifting into Azure directly. So they don't need to look into other cloud providers or the third party tools. They don't need to look into it. So this is an advantage for Microsoft, and the habituation of using Microsoft tools is very easy compared to other tools. So that's why this is far good now. And so what does they provide? It's a cloud provide. What services they provide? What is cloud computing? Any idea? What is cloud computing? Have you heard this term called cloud computing anytime? If it is correct or wrong, that doesn't matter. Just go on with your guesses. What is cloud computing? Just open up. No, there
Services
is no one at six of us. That's it. Hmm.
services provided over cloud or online, like we can use the services and we can pay as we go.
Hmm. Okay.
Instead of
Kamlakar,
a
I,
local server, we can lend s- storage and other things from Microsoft
very good.
cloud
Karthik.
cloud platform.
Hmm. Very good. Please go on. Kamlakar, and you're saying something? I could not hear you, Kamlakar. There might be some issue. Sushma, can you give it a try? What do you mean by cloud computing? Whatever it is, if it is right, wrong, that doesn't care. What do you understand by cloud computing?
So basically, we will be given a shared resources. So instead of using the physical resources by the own company, like we will be using someone else resources, and on that we will be developing our own applications.
Okay, very good guess, Sushma. So you said something physical thing, right? That is true, some part, but the rest of the thing I'll just conclude here. So you are getting getting RAM, memory, storage, and infra. All this over the internet. Okay, and what all these things? And what all this we call it as compute. All this we call it as compute. You're getting the compute resources over the internet. Over the internet, compute resources over the internet, we call it as cloud computing. Okay, this is first thing. You're getting compute resources over the internet. What all you'll get? You'll get RAM, memory, storage, infra, all these things you're getting over the internet. We call it as cloud computing. And these things will be provided by Azure people. Okay. If you go to Azure, they'll be providing all these things over the internet for you. You don't need to buy them. And okay. You just go and utilize their resources. You have different kinds of subscriptions. We'll coming to know that. But here you go and use them and you pay for them. That's it. Okay. These all things you are getting over the internet. We call it as cloud computing. This is the basic definition for the cloud computing. And as we said, like we discussed, like we are getting some physical, we are not getting a physical machine, all these things. Yes, virtually are getting all these things, but somewhere it is physically located. Okay, we'll discuss something called architecture of Azure. Okay, Azure architecture. Every technology, they have some kind of architecture. For Azure also, we have architecture called logical and physical architecture. Let's discuss something called physical. The physical architecture side, we call the places where the data centers is located, we call it as regions. Okay, a place where data center is located, we call it as the region. What is data center then? Any idea? What is data center? Anytime you heard about data center?
Where servers are placed.
Here we have the servers.
Very good. Where the servers are located, we call it as data center. It's a group of servers. Now, what is a server, guys? What is a server then? Because some group of servers are located, that place we call it as data center. But what is a server then? What is the server then?
A kind of a database where we store all the data.
It's not only for particular thing called database, all these things. Combination of all these things, just say compute resource. The compute resource, we call it as server. And where these servers are stored? We are storing them in racks, where servers are stored. Okay. Let me show you something called a data center. So this is how the data center will look like. This is how the data center will look like. And this is how the racks, they were maintained. This is how the racks were maintained in a data center. So inside these racks, you the servers are kept inside these racks, and those people will manage with all the connections inside the each server. This will be interconnected. So this is a place where a modern data center looks like. Okay. Now let's come to something called logical architecture of Azure. Okay. Whatever I said, these things you will not see with your eyes. Okay. You will not see. You can't go to that place and you can't see. Okay. These are all physical architecture which is present in the backend, but you are not going to see them. But this logical architecture, whatever say, you are going to see them. You can visualize. You are going to log into a portal and you can see them. All these things. Okay. Let's come to the logical architecture. On the top of something we call first at a tenant. It's like an organization ID. You have different companies like at the rate Microsoft.com, at the rate valuelabs.com, at the rate Deloitte.com, right? All these companies, they have something called at the rate Microsoft, these things, right? So this is at the organizational level account ID. For an organization in cloud, they create an account, which we call it as tenant. Now, under the tenant, we have something called subscriptions. Have different kinds of subscriptions here. You have free trial subscriptions. You have MSDN or Visual Studio subscription. You have something called Student Access subscription. You have Azure Pass subscription. And finally, you have something called Pay as you go subscription. This is something different from all the others which I mentioned above. In real time, every company will have a pay as you go subscription. This they will use for their project billings. Okay. So project billings every month, by month end, they'll get a invoice for the resources they have used, and they'll pay the bill. By month end, they'll get the invoice and they'll pay the bill. Once they pay the bill, they can use the resources. Okay. There'll be a deadline like our credit card bills. They'll get this month end billing. And for tenant subscriptions and free trial subscriptions, let's say these things, free trial subscription, it's completely, you can use it for learning purposes. Okay. Free trial subscription, you can use it for learnings. Okay. Let's discuss them individually. This is for learnings. You can create, you can create with, credit card or debit card, and it will be for 30 days validity. 30 days validity. They'll give you some 16,000 rupees for practicing. They'll deduct 2 rupees from your credit card, to identify, okay, is it valid, or, and they can, from their end, they'll check that if it valid or something fraud. So for that, they'll deduct 2 rupees and they'll give you 16,000 rupees for the free trial subscription. You can use it for 30 days validity. Okay, this kind of subscription we call it as free trial subscription. And next we have something called MSDN or Visual Studio subscription. This every company will give for learning purpose. For learning purposes, they'll give this for learning purpose. They'll allocate some 3,000 or 5,000 rupees for learning. So every month they'll renew that 3,000 rupees, but this can be used for your learning purposes. This will be given by the company. And student access subscription, if you are a student from a reputed organization or from the university, which mostly if you the university, US universities will get this student access subscription. If you are in India studying some university, only the reputed organizations were recognized by the Microsoft. So you can give your student email ID and you can claim this student subscription. You'll be getting $100. Okay. You have something called 365 days validity for this $100. You can lend, but if this $100 is completed, then account will be not working. Okay, so $100 is the cash they'll be giving. Azure Pass subscription, usually the consultancies will give outside the learning program. They'll buy and they'll give this kind of subscriptions. You can use it for 30 days. Again, Azure Pass subscription. Finally, pay as you go. This will be used in real-time projects. They'll be giving a month-end billing. They'll be sending an invoice, and you'll need to pay that bill so that your account will be still on. So, you can use unlimited resources in this. There is no limitation for you. Whatever you build, you'll be getting charged. That's it. Any doubts on this physical and logical architecture side? Any doubts on this part? Any doubts, guys? Karthik, Sushma?
No, it's clear.
Right. Akshay and Emre?
All good, all good.
I joined a little bit late because of my idea didn't work. So, but yeah, I think these things are all clear. So I've been already
Okay.
using the cloud services. So
No worries. Yeah. Cool then. You will be able to understand the basics then. Yeah. So this kind of architecture we have been split it for Azure, and so these are the basic things you need to know for the Azure side. Now let's focus on the benefits of cloud. So why we need cloud actually? What are the benefits you are getting with the cloud? Any guesses, guys? Any guesses why we need cloud actually? What is the benefit you are going to get in the cloud?
Access it from anywhere.
Access it from anywhere. Awesome.
Availability of data at any time.
Yes, availability of data at any time. Wonderful. Any guesses, guys? Why we need cloud?
Decrease the infrastructure to store the data.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Karthik, Sushma, Kamalakar. Any guesses, guys? Just try to say something. Okay. Whatever you feel.
Yeah,
It
if
is.
you need more scalability, so we can increase instead of
Mm-hmm.
buying our own.
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. Let me go through it. Okay. So the first benefit you're going to get it in the cloud is scalability. Scalability in the sense, okay, I have some 100 GB storage and some 64 GB RAM is my configuration I have for, let's say, like an example of SQL database. I have this thing, but my workload is increasing, or I have some particular days where I wanted to spend. I'm from a, let's take an example of retail company. Okay, I have some Independence Day sales or big billion day sales. This is the normal storage I'm maintaining, but on that particular sale days, I wanted to increase into tenfold all these things. So usually non-premise time, either you have to go and buy it and get them. So there you are going, you are buying as per your requirement and you're bringing. Let's say you brought some 1 TB, okay, and you have something called 256 GB RAM. You brought this thing on the live day, on that particular day. First is you, you bought, okay, you buy it and you bought. Second thing is on that live day, if this 1 TB is not sufficient, when you are monitoring and you said that okay, 800 GB, alert me, 900 GB, give me second warning, okay, because it is going to your storage is going to complete your memory, all these things. It will be in a trouble. It will hang in some point of time. It will not respond. The server will not respond after reaching the limit. So you are getting alerts. You will not run to the shop and you will not bring again, right? The next thing, by the time you run and you get all these things, it will take some days. Your server will hang in the final on the day. It will not even respond for you. Okay. So instead of avoiding all these things in the cloud, we get something called scalability. What does it mean is, I'm having 100 GB, 64 GB RAM. I'll bring this thing 1 TB and 256. I'll ask them, my cloud vendor, okay, I'll increase it from my end, these things, and I'll inform cloud vendor also, okay, if it is more than required, whatever the more than required, like Amazon or Flipkart, they require huge storage, very big machines on that particular day. So they'll inform the vendor, okay, provide me as much as you can. There should not be any disturbance for me. Okay, so let's think for our retail, I brought this thing. I just scaled it. Okay, I just scaled it. My festival will be that my offer will be for 3 days only. I'll use this thing for 3 days, and I will after the 3 days on the fourth day, I'll scale this down again. Scale this down. We scaled it up here. We are scaling this down here. So I'm going to my normal 100 GB, 64 GB RAM only after the fourth day. After the third day, I'm going to this on the fourth day. So for only 3 days, I'll be getting billing for this. Whatever I have increased, only 3 days it will be billed for me. I'm not buying entire infrastructure. I'm using it and I'm reducing it. I'm just sending. So whatever the 3 days I used, this will be billed for only this for 3 days. And the rest again, normal 27 days of my month, this will be charging for this only. The rest 27 days, it will be charged this. So this kind of flexibility you have in cloud, scalability. You can scale up, you can scale down. But in the other scenario on-premise, once you bought, you can't give them back. If you give them back, they have to take, you have to rent it. Okay. You need to fix them everything. It's your headache. Before the 10 days only you start doing everything. But here in cloud, on the fly, I can increase. Just today, afternoon 12 o'clock, my sale starts. Then 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, I can increase it and I can keep it. Just an hour before, I can increase and keep it. Just a slider in the cloud. And if it is giving me alerts, then I can increase it on the fly there itself to another one more TB. And 256 GB, I can increase some more to 512 GB. On the fly, I can do it. Within 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, it will be upgraded to that configuration. So these things you have here in the cloud, which is called scalability. Now someone said like high availability is one of the advantage you have. No matter what happens, my system should not go down. My server should not go down. So I'll talk with the vendor. I'll say whatever you can do, whatever the disaster recovery or a high availability failure groups, whatever you keep, I don't care, but it should not go down. So they will provide you multiple servers in the backend. Okay. If server A fails, if server A stops responding or some issue happens, then server B will be up and running immediately. You don't know from the front end, the user don't know, but in the backend, this will shuffle. Immediately server B will come. So you don't have to worry about what is happening in the backend. This entire thing will be taken care by Azure. So if server is stopped, server will be coming up and running. These kind of high availability features they will provide. Third thing, redundancy. Redundancy, this is generally for backup scenarios. You can use redundancy. So for example, you have physical servers, you will take one backup maximum. You will be taking one backup maximum. And that too, you will schedule like 24 hours backup, like after 24 hours or after 30 days backup. That is how we'll go in the on-premise situation. But here in the cloud, we have something called replication. Okay. This is real-time backup. Real-time backup. If server goes down, you have another server, replica server available. You can still access the data and you can read the data from that. And whatever you store in the server A, it will immediately reflect in server B. This kind of scenario we have in replication. Okay. And coming to redundancy part, usually we store one backup, I said, right? But in the same location, you are going to same in your same office location. If it is in Hyderabad, you are storing it in Hyderabad office location only, another backup also. But in cloud, this is not the case. They have defined different scenarios for us: LRS, ZRS, and GRS. These kind of redundancy systems they have given: local redundant system, and the second one is zonal redundant system, and the third one is geo redundant system. Okay, in the first place, same same location. If my region is East US, in the East US only they'll store 3 copies of data. Okay, we'll discuss this further when the class starts. For ZRS, they'll store three copies of data in same region but different zones. In Geo, you will store the data one in East US region. For example, in India, let's consider India, South India, we have a data center and we have data center in Central India. So 3 copies will be stored in South India, 3 copies will be stored in Central India. These kind of backup redundancy they are providing. We don't need to worry about any backups or anything. Okay. Now the fourth benefit is pay as you go. Pay as you go. So whatever you use, you will be charging for that. Okay, whatever the use you do, it will be charging for that only. I used a virtual machine for an hour. Yes, it will be charged only for 1 hour. Out of 30 days, if I use virtual machine for 1 hour, only 1 hour billing will be there for me. I don't need to worry if that virtual machine is there, deleted. I can create it on. You can stop the virtual machine and it will stop the billing only for storage in the virtual machine that will be charging, not for the machine. But in real time, if you buy a laptop, you will be spending some 70,000 rupees and you'll bring the laptop. If you use, if you keep in your alarm, wherever you keep, if you're not using, your money is gone, right? Your 70,000 you paid and you brought it. But here, no, not in that case situation. 1 hour use, 1 hour billing you'll get. Whatever the resources you use, only for them they will be charging. This is called pay as you go concept. Finally, maintenance. What are the maintenance? In Azure, where you're going with cloud, the cloud vendors will take care of everything. You have different kinds of services they will be offering: IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Whatever the you choose, they'll provide in that way. If I take IaaS service, okay, they'll be responsible for all the infrastructure maintenance, but I will be responsible for maintaining that infrastructure from my end also. In a way, like I'll create my own applications, I'll create my own IP addresses, everything. When you come to PaaS, the OS part, application part, everything they'll take care. I only need to develop things there. Okay. When I come to SaaS, everything they do it. Only I have to use that, whatever they built. Okay. This is some kind of Outlook example. You are not writing any code for developing Outlook. You are just using it and sending in emails. This is SaaS application. Okay. For PaaS, you can consider as SQL database. They built it, but you are storing your data. You are taking care of your data. Everything, it's your responsibility here. Okay, you write SQL queries, you write everything. You use a programming language to talk to this. So this kind of application we call it as SaaS, PaaS. Infrastructure as a service. Let's consider as a VMware example, virtual machine. We'll discuss more detail on these things as well once the classes resume. These are the benefits of the cloud. So with this, I can conclude for today's demo. If you have any questions, you can raise with me. I can talk or I can explain if you have any doubts about the program.
Yeah, hi sir, it's Emre Dost. Actually, I was kind of late for the session. due the computer like had some issue with the audio, so I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
quite hear you. But anyway, my question is that like I have experience with this with the cloud, with the Azure, and I have experience with this Python. But like I just want to like, are we doing this one? Like, what are the prerequisites? Like, what we have to know, or what we are going to through? Are we going to also to learning the data engineering part, or are we only covering that deploying the like these services on the Azure using Azure cloud?
Okay. Yeah. I am Nidos. Yeah. This program is completely about data engineering only.
Mhm,
Okay. This is a completely a data engineer role program. We'll be learning the data engineering as part of this program.
mhm,
You'll be learning something called Synapse. You'll be learning something called Data Factory,
mhm,
Databricks, and you'll be
mhm,
learning something called PySpark.
mhm.
Okay, as part of this program, a coding language, and also you'll be learning something called SQL. You'll be having 1 or 2 day sessions on the SQL side to do the basic data engineering stuff, and on the when we go to Databricks, completely we'll be learning PySpark.
Yeah.
Okay,
How
this
you
is
how
completely
you
data engineering. Yeah.
okay okay how you split the like curriculum? Like, is it like uh, because I have done like some part with the Java, not with the Python, but like the
Mm-hmm.
old style. But and like I am more interested like in so of course the now everything has to be in actually cloud, like because it's
Hmm.
companies are like always asking like you should have knowledge, but also the I need this actual skills also like like the like you said the data engineering part. So that was what I was interested, like if it is like only the cloud, using cloud is not so interesting for me. But if it is also you are teaching the data engineering part, then I am in.
Hmm. So on the data engineering side, we'll be discussing more about how to use. You can from any background, people can shift to data engineer very easily. That is one
Mhm.
thing, and we'll be spending good amount of time on learning real-time use cases on the data engineering side. And these tools will be very user friendly, but you need to spend some time on learning the things. Okay, on the data engineering side. Okay. Yeah. So what else you need from this?
Now, how much you will use time, like for example, teaching these tools, like is it like
Okay, we have around 45 days every
hmm
day 1 hour. So Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll not going to teach. If required, we'll go on Sunday as well. But usually Monday to Friday, that is what the pattern. And we'll be having 45 days of training program. It will be spanning around 2 months for you. And
yes?
every day 1 hour you have to spend, and maybe 1.5 hour for your learning again separately. So you need to spend around 2.5 hours from your side. 1 hour will be teaching, and once you get the video recording, you can practice by looking at the video. Okay.
Yes.
um, and also you have 2 projects which will be giving a real-time live projects. Once you complete half portion of the session, you can start applying for jobs as a data engineer for the technologies which we complete. So it's not every project or every company needs Databricks, Synapse, everything. Okay.
Yeah. So I just have this curricula in here, like it's a little bit like I try to understand, but like I just quite couldn't understand like how you split the like this curricula like on the weeks, like because there are a lot to cover, like really much.
Yeah, yeah. We have delivered trainings. No, I can take care of it. Don't worry about that. Okay.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I have one question. So I think Azure subscription, all other services are all paid. How we can do the hands-on practices on that Azure site?
Do you have a credit card or a debit card?
but I already used that credit card for the my learning purpose before going to start this. I go
Hmm.
through one course into the Microsoft Learn, and I already had completed with that 30 days trial. What is it?
Okay. Okay. We only have option to learn either with credit card or debit card. You can use a new Outlook ID and you can learn that. But once you used a credit card, it can't be used. Okay. You can go with a debit card. Okay. We don't have any other options like that. Okay. We only have this way for free trial subscriptions. Okay.
Yeah, but I have also see some sandbox is also working on that.
They are
So
not useful. They are not useful
oh,
for us. They will be not be useful. Okay. We'll be having number of limitations there.
I have a question. Audible?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, Kamalakar, please go
Yes. So the all the resources on the Azure that you are going to cover in these sessions, so all those will be available in the free trial.
Yes, everything will be available in the free trial.
And as you said that after completing this course, we'll be getting the knowledge of for like who is working like for 3 years kind of. But so are we going phase wise like we targeting first this technology or it's a combination every day like we are working on Databricks along with the Synapse that that
No,
kind
okay. In
of
real time, people choose Synapse or people go with Synapse, then they don't need to go with the Databricks. If they go with the Databricks, they'll go with the data factory combination. They don't need Synapse there. Likewise, it will be. Okay. So you no need to learn all the tools to be an employee of a company. If you have an idea of the different tools, that will be a boost on for you. If you are good at Synapse, then you can apply a data engineer role where Synapse many people are using. If you are good at Databricks, there are projects who refer Databricks, Azure Databricks. Likewise, it will be okay.
okay. So in I'm from the database background actually. So
Hmm.
in my daily routine, what I'm doing is like whatever requirement that we get. So
Hmm.
how we going to continue this? Like it's already decided like what should be covered in this day, or we are going like the project goes.
Yeah, yeah. You'll be learning the Databricks, how to connect to different sources from the Databricks, how to apply SCD type 1, type 2 logics in the Databricks and load the data, and how to connect to different sources and load the data. So likewise, the training will be going on. So in real time, you'll be connecting to different sources and you'll be loading data, right? In the similar way, this is also going like that. And you'll be applying different techniques in order to, for the data techniques, we call it as SCD types. We'll utilize those things and we'll be loading data into the target. So this is the data engineer role, extracting, transforming, and loading.
Yeah, and uh, the 45 days you are saying, is that enough to understand this technology?
Yes, yes. So we are spending 45 days. So the curriculum is split like for first 18 days, you will be learning completely on Synapse side. There you will be learning how to design pipelines, how to get data from different places, from on-premise, from cloud, how to move data, all these things you'll be learning. And next remaining days, you'll be learning somewhere SQL for a couple of days, 2 days. It will be 20 days completed. And for next 25 days, you'll be working on Databricks side. You'll be learning there and you'll be applying. Then we'll be giving project works in the end. This is how it goes.
Okay. As you said, last question. As you said that
Mhm.
if someone going to Synapse side, then Databricks, that it's not going to work for them, that kind of. So
No, no. What I'm
if
trying to
we
say
want
is
to,
these Synapse and Databricks are big data tools. Okay. We have something called data factory for orchestration purposes.
okay,
Okay. So this Databricks notebooks, whatever you have created, you can call it with that Databricks pipeline for orchestrating. At every day, 3 p.m. you run, 6 p.m. you run, or to keep some dependencies. So this you can go with Data Factory. Okay. So Synapse is not required in that place. A project doesn't require a Synapse when they are using Databricks because these are same tools, right? You will
Yes.
not uh, for a same person in your home, you will not buy same kind of bikes too, right?
Right.
Yeah. So either you go for you, if you wanted two bikes, you will not prefer two same bike companies, right? If you really
Right.
wanted another bike, you'll go either with a scooty or you'll go with other company bike. That is how, or a mileage bike and a sports bike. That is how we'll go. We'll not go with the same things, right? So here Synapse and Databricks are those kind of things.
Thank you.
Okay, no worries.
So
Yeah.
is any sequence to learn this data engineering that first we have to complete this, then second one, other, then third, then fourth? Is any sequence or that the sequence that you provided into the curriculum so that we have to
That
learn?
is sufficient. Yeah, the sequence how I
Okay, means
provided that
there
is
is
enough.
no dependency that we have to understood first this, then and then only we can understood the second.
No, no, no.
Each and every services have different use cases, correct? If I'm not
Yes,
wrong.
yes, 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 Jaswal. That is true.
Thank
And when we are going to start, like, is it already defined or?
No, the organizer will inform you the start date of the program. Okay,
Mhm.
she will connect with you and she'll inform you about the program when we are going to
Yeah.
start.
When I
And
asked this beginning of this week, she or he was saying that like it will start by the next week. But yeah.
okay, actually, we have to provide some demos, right? So today it's first demo, so we'll be
Mhm.
having another demo. That is not a kind of a demo. We'll be continuing with the classes. So based on your comfort zone, you need to understand, okay, whether I'm fitting or not here, right? So
Mhm.
then you can make the payment. So we'll be continuing the classes. So by probably as this is Saturday, anyway, there will not be a class tomorrow. Monday they will decide the timings of the classes and they'll inform you. Probably by Tuesday or Wednesday we'll be running the regular classes. Okay.
Okay, but is the timing the same? Because I am taking another class from the this Visualpath
Nine to
in.
10.
Yeah, I have this
9.
8 to 9 data science course, so I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking to take this one as a additional because I am already
Okay.
there 1 hour. So, but if the time will not change, I can attend only then.
Oh, 9 to 10 you're comfortable.
Yeah, because like my one is just finishing like at 9, so I will just continue in here then. That's what
Okay.
my plan was.
Okay. Let's see about the majority and let's decide. Okay. That, but there
Yeah.
will be, if it is, it will not clash with your timings. Maybe it will start little early or it will be starting at this time. Okay. There will be two scenarios. If people are here feeling that it might be late for them in the US, so they might join by the morning 6:30 to 7:30 class from IST. And if people are okay with the same, then we can continue to 9 to 10. That is also fine. Yeah, but we'll inform you. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And hello, Sai. For me also 9 to 10 is really good. Yeah, we will see how it works.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Karthik. Yeah. Yeah. See you all
Uh,
guys in the next class. Yeah.
yeah. Sai, how many people will be there in the class? So that could be another thing.
Okay. It
So,
depends. Okay. There might be some minimum 10 people you can expect.
okay, that's fine. Totally
Yeah.
fine. And we are working professionals, so it's around 10 we have to keep, means get ready to go to the company. So
Yes. Yes.
yeah, that needs to be considered.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. We'll be seeing the majority and we'll be deciding the timings. Okay.
Thank you.
There will be helping for resume preparation as well. No doubt in that. We'll be helping in resume preparation, and interview tips also will be given. Yep. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Bye.